Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Final Fantasy X-2. We are going to have quite a fun episode today. We've kind of just been doing like the basic introductions. We are about to get one of the best Dresspheres in the game, so stay tuned. We're going down along our list. We've just finished Luca, and right now we're actually going to go to the Mushroom Rock Road just to get a quick access to the end of the Mi Hen Highroad. We have to do our publicity first, so that basically means we are going to go to the old road first, back where we found Oren's Mercury's crest on the Mi Hen Highroad. But basically, for the publicity, it's all the same as Chapter 1. But what's different is that if we complete the mission in Mi Hen Highroad, we actually lose out on some of the people we can talk to. So for this kid, publicity number 5. And then we're going to run down the old road and see this guy in purple. Publicity is going to be number 2. And then continuing on, we get to the lady by the Machina. And publicity for her is number 4. And matchmaking is number 1. And then super speeding it down, the guy on the top, he's publicity number 1. And the guy on the bottom, he is publicity. Yeah, be careful to make sure you're actually talking to the right guy. So publicity for the guy in the bottom, he is number 3. And then from there, we have the girl on the bridge, and then we have the guy over by the cliffside outside the agency. So yeah, just selecting 1 for matchmaking there for the lady. And then continuing on to the agency, it's really important you don't go into the agency because you'll actually lose access to this guy. He won't appear here after you start the mission. So publicity number 1 for this guy, and then running down the rest of the high road, we have this guy by this hover here, and he is publicity number 2. And then this lady further down the high road, again just selecting what I pick on screen here. Number 4 for publicity, and number 2. And then we're now down on the south side of the road. So this is where we met up with Belgamine for the first time. So number 3 for Argent, and that's him done. And then the 2 ladies by Mi Hen statue. So the lady in the blue dress, she is number 1, and the matchmaking for her is also number 1. And publicity for the girl in the white dress, she is number 2. And for matchmaking, number 5. So now that we're back to the agency, we're able to go in and start our mission. But there's also the 2 people in the agency.
I'm sorry, but you won't be able to go chocobo riding.
I see. Sorry to bother you.
So there's a very sad young girl not able to ride chocobos. But before we worry about like saving the animal wildlife, it's time for capitalism. So for the publicity for the lady at the thing, it is number 2. And matchmaking is number 4. And then for the guy in the agency, it is number 3. And then we get to start our mission. We have to help this girl get a chocobo and go for a ride, because the world has become way too industrialized and hovers are just taking over and nobody's able just to ride chocobos anymore.
You aren't Lady Una by any chance?
I am.
I don't suppose you remember me, do you?
For 100%, it's so important that you say, I think I remember. You won't get 100% if you pick the wrong option here. But this is actually the little girl
You can't be Callie?
that you met on the Mi Hen Highroad 2 years ago.
You really do remember me.
Remember Callie? We met her 2 years ago on the Mi Hen Highroad. The little girl that was so looking forward to the calm. What are you doing here?
I came to ride a chocobo. I've wanted to ride one for as long as I can remember.
You don't see too many chocobos these days. Everybody rides hovers.
Yeah. On top of that, I hear there's a chocobo hunting fiend prowling around. This isn't a very good place for poor little chocobos anymore.
Maybe they're gone for good.
Oh, there's a chocobo.
Cho!
Cho?
It's a chocobo!
So now we gotta go not so much on a wild goose chase, but a wild chocobo chase. And we have to try and, you know, race down. For this first challenge with Riku, you basically follow her down the high road. You try and collect feathers, and then you can take little detours to get extra treasures, like chocobo treasures and whatnot. But basically, what you're going to need to do to like get onto the next stage of the mini game is just ignore all of her detractions
Stay close to me. I'll
and
get that
just
chocobo.
run straight down.
Ooh, there it is. Stay close to me. I'll get that chocobo.
So just follow along, and then you're able to see feathers on the ground. Just don't stray too far from Riku. I'm not really doing that great of a job, but just never follow Riku's advice, because she will only make you have to redo this run again. Now there is some nice, you know, rewards and stuff, but for the sake of brevity, we're just going to show you the one that I succeeded on, because I did fail once, because I took her advice, and then I realized, oh, it just makes me redo the whole freaking thing, so not ideal. But once you get to the end of this road, we then do the chocobo corralling, where we have to basically play a guessing game where we try and like interrupt the path of the chocobo.
There it is. What did
I
tell ya?
also failed this as well, so this is my second time running through it. But
I'll watch the
if you
fun.
fail,
No
it
chocobos
just
get
lets
out
you
that
like
way.
redo the, you know, redo it
I got
again.
this
So
end.
there's no
that
change
leaves
to the
me to
rewards
catch
either.
it.
So no need to worry. So when you run down, it's basically just like a guessing game. You have to choose which way you think the chocobo is going to run, and then like try and block it. But the trick is you have to miss at least 3 times. You just can't miss too many times after that, because it will just run away. But you need to deliberately miss a few times. So we missed on purpose the first time. We're gonna miss on purpose the second time. And you basically have to keep missing until you hear it say, oh, the chocobo's losing concentration. And then it does become fairly easy to know which direction the chocobo's running in. But it's a fairly relaxed mission like I'm already not looking forward to the Thunder Plains, because it's a mini game that, like, you know, the Thunder Plains across the Final Fantasy X series seems to just be a bit of a pain. But as you can see, it's like really heavily leaning to the right, so you know which direction to go. And once you see that message, you kind of can know, okay, I don't need to miss anymore. I can just finish out the mini game. And as you can see, he's going to be going left, and you just gotta make him, you know, catch him in that way a few times, and then you'll be done with this part of the mini game, because it is still not over. But the trick of it is, it's going to always be where, when it's running like towards Riku, so this will be the last one now. So with that, as it's running along to Riku, it's going to just jump over Riku's head. And now we have to continue our chase down to the south end of the Mi Hen Highroad.
But this is starting to chap my hide. Come back here, bird brain!
So you basically go to the different Mi Hen Highroad areas, and then Riku will hop up and have a look and see where it is.
Over there!
And basically what we're looking out for is when she gets up really, really high, we need to see her fall. And that's when we'll know we've done the previous bit of the minigame correctly. So as you can see here, Riku gets up really, really high.
It's gone.
For such scrawny legs, it sure can run.
And then if you get a different cutscene where she kind of lands on her feet from jumping down off the tower, you're going to miss out on a really cool accessory in the last chapter. So just be aware of that. But if you've done what I did in the video, you should then get this cutscene where she lands and falls down. And that's all that we say about that for now. So running further down the Mi Hen Highroad, we're chasing after this Chocobo, and like realistically, the Chocobos were amazing in 10. Like all the different secret areas you could go to with them, like the Remian Temple, and like the Chocobo racing, and like getting the Celestial Mirror and all the Celestial weapons. Like they've been actually so like robust like throughout the series, and just how kind of important they are. And it is kind of a sadness to be said that like now that Spira isn't afraid of using Machina, that like, you know,
Running after him.
these creatures that were so like well respected are just now becoming rarer and rarer. But in the spirit of technology, we're going to basically use the hover to help us chase down this Chocobo. And yeah, finally capture him. So with Riku spooking it that way, Pain blocking it off that way, and Yuna, you know, stopping it there, it thinks, haha, I will fly! But then we say, no, we got technology. And with the blocked, and now 3,
Finally.
we have caught it. But wait, there's more!
Hey, your friend's in hot water.
She was trying to catch another Chocobo, but our old fiend, the Chocobo Eater, is back again.
Yuri, come on!
And we have to try and go save her. So off we run to try and rescue Cali. So in the spirit of chapter 1, we're gonna have a timed, you know, race.
But there isn't time.
But out of nowhere, Clasko just appears with summoned chocobos
We'll try and buy you some time. Lady Yuna, please hurry.
to give us time to run and rescue Cali.
Let's go.
So you have more than enough time, like it's 2.5 minutes, but like I could have just turned on turbo speed, which I do, and then like, you know, it's not hard. We've been up and down this road plenty. You know, we don't have the encounters turned on, so like we're not getting interrupted. It's just a quick little run. And as I say, we get there with plenty of time to spare. And now we have to have a little fight. And you might not notice, but there's like a chocobo feather in the fiend's mouth, so like maybe one of the poor chocobos already got injured.
Let's clean up.
So
Hey,
we're
I wanna
against the
fight
Chocobo
too.
Eater, and right now we're gonna just double up on our trigger happy. We're gonna use our blue bullet to get Mighty Guard up and running. We're gonna get our Matador song to allow us to, you know, evade an awful lot. We're gonna have Shell from Mighty Guard, so we should be fairly okay. We have our healing coming up with our White Wind, and then if we can double up our trigger happies, we can literally just take it out lickety split. And that's that boss finished. Mission complete. Selene Armgar or Selene Guardian. There's a garment grid in the mix anyway. And then we're able to bring Cali and a Chocobo onto the airship with Clasko.
She looks happy.
Whatever works for her.
Shall we?
So with that, we have another mission complete. The Mi Hen Highroad is done. But right now, that is not all for our Chocobo-tastic episode. We have the Selene Guard, and now that we've completed the Mi Hen Highroad, we've invited Clasko onto the airship. We're going to just have to quickly go back, collect Cali and Clasko, bring them onto the ship, and then when we go speak to Buddy again, we basically have a really, really awesome little quest with Clasko, unlock a whole new mini game, but as well as that, we get one of the best Dresspheres in the game. We'll quickly port back. You'll find Clasko and Cali just by the agency, and you'll see there the hover is there, so we actually weren't able to go and get an awful lot of our you know, people down by the old road, so that's why we had to kind of not take the mission on to get as much publicity as possible. So I'm not just being contrary, it is literally, you know, what happens with the game. But you'll remember our old friend from the Monster Arena, and basically now that we've that bit of the story finished, the Calm Land's become a hotspot, and Clasko wants to renovate the Monster Arena into a Chocobo ranch to like raise Chocobos, look after them, and then we're able to use them to kind of go hunt for items, garment grids, and certain other trophies that need to happen later on in the game. But we're gonna hop on over to the Calm Lands, check in with Clasko, and our reward for completing this mission is actually the Alchemist Dress. which is a Dressphere that can use
This is
items
it.
super quickly, but also have an
Something
infinite
tells me
stash
this
of
is where
certain
I'll
items.
find
That's
my
all the different
calling.
abilities you learn. It's like infinite potions, infinite high
Maybe you're
potions,
dead,
infinite
Lady Yuna.
mega potions, infinite elixirs. And, you know, the earlier we can get this, the so much easier any future boss, you know, fight will be. Because typically a lot of the
now
white
what am I
mage
supposed to
skills
do?
need like MP to like heal and stuff. Whereas like
sure this would
you
be the
just use
perfect
items, you just
spot,
use mega
but
potions.
It's infested with fiends.
Yeah, I should hope it's infested with fiends,
I get the
Clasko. We
feeling
literally
you
spent
want
hours
something.
collecting all the fiends in Spira. And now he's like, kill them all.
If only there weren't any fiends here. Ah, I'm so close, so close.
Like with everything, Clasko, we'll just do all the hard work and heavy lifting. But this is also another fun little mini game, a fun little mission. There's basically a lot of illusory fiends, and all of the illusory fiends are looking towards the real fiend. And so you'll see here the little shell guy is looking forward, the coral is looking forward, so it means it's on the left side of the map. And so the little helmet guy is looking up, and then this guy is looking down. So odds are he's the issue. And so we have our gunners trigger happying away. And we're going to just use white winds to keep ourselves healed up. And that's basically one fiend, and we basically have to find the 4 other fiends in the area. But it's really cool to kind of, again, see all the different areas in a slightly new light. Now, are these basically the same ruins as Zanarkand? Do they really add that much new areas to the thing? Not really, but still, it's like we get to explore the inside of the Fiend Arena. It does seem a little bit silly that the caretaker of the arena just had them all in these little pens. But however, as you can see there, you know, if we had the Alchemist, we would be using that Phoenix down in literally no time. So that is you know, one thing there. The Armet Oversold. So again, we have to try and collect all the different beastry entries. So getting oversold enemies is always helpful. Riku is running slightly low on MP, which is a wee bit of a worry. But we have the girls trigger happying away. So we shouldn't be too concerned. And like, look at that, like White Wind just healing 1000 HP. But as you guys know, with mega potions, they heal, you know, 1000 to everybody all of the time. Or 2000, I should say. God. So, you know, massive consistency in just getting the Alchemist and then spamming mega potions every turn. Because odds are the enemies are not going to be having enough DPS to be doing more than 2000 to a single character, let alone to every single character on the screen. And yeah, so there is a bit of a thing of, oh, is it that or is it the coral? But you just have to make your best guess when obviously one's looking one way, one's looking the other way. It's like it's either one of them. But yeah, having double trigger happy is just super nice. Like the absolute speed of the combo multiplier is just insane, you know. But yeah, it's really good to get back into this series, to be honest. Like it's one of those ones that it's really just easygoing, and you just follow the guide, like, you know, you just follow through the guide and just make sure you're not missing anything to, you know, make sure I'm not leading you guys astray for a 100% run. And like, again, it just harkens back to like Final Fantasy X, where like, you know, I know what to do. I knew what to do. This is my first time to do a 100% playthrough on 10-2 to try and get this sheer perfection. I've only completed this game once, in fairness. I've tried to do the 100% run a few times. Just hasn't really happened yet. I got as far as chapter 4 the last time, but obviously for YouTube I'm gonna like work really hard to like make sure I you know, get it done and don't just give up halfway through. And yeah, so the little elementals, they just make it hard for you to know because they don't necessarily look in a particular direction. But this is the last one. And with a quick trigger happy, we're all done there for that. If we can get an absorb off with Riku, we'd get tons of MP back from the Queen Coral. Death Blast on Yuna, but we can just drop an L Phoenix down. But what we unlock for completing this one aside from the Alchemist Dress here is the ability to capture chocobos. We can actually capture chocobos from different areas of Spira and then send them to the ranch to, you know, go hunt for items or whatnot. And yeah, we have the most underwhelming like final boss of this area. It's like the water elemental and you're like, oh, okay, sure. We'll be really intimidated by the water elemental. I also find it hilarious that like we're able just to board the airship. It's like, bye Clasko, have fun. But we have gunners and we've gunner maxed out, and so there's the critical shot, scatter burst, which will critically damage all enemies. And I was like, oh well, I just do an elemental shot. And we'll just do another, you know, critical shot with pain. And I was like, oh, they just die. So, 2 gunner shots, all done.
Thank you so much. At last, my dream can come true.
What dream?
I'm going to start a Chocobo ranch. No one will bother me here. I can finally raise Chocobos in peace.
Good luck.
Oh no! I can't raise anything without a Chocobo!
You've got your work cut out for you.
And one of the first and only times I think there's no like little, you know, unlocked X Dressphere. It's kind of just you scored the Alchemist Dressphere in that little, you know, reward screen, which as far as I'm aware is the only time it kind of happens. If you like, you know, get the Dressphere from a chest or anything else, it like pops up as like a separate little box icon, you know? But basically now this is no longer the Monster Arena, it is the Chocobo Ranch in the Calm Lands. And he then asks you to go capture some Chocobos, which is actually quite easy. It's just finding them is the thing, but they spawn more easily later on in the game. But you do get a trophy, which we're going to get in this episode now, for capturing a Chocobo before Chapter 3, before the end of Chapter 3. So you do technically have like Chapter 2 and the rest of Chapter 3. But, I mean, we're here now, we have the greens, might as well just do it. So essentially, all you have to do is feed a Chocobo the Gashla greens when there are no other fiends around. And that is really easy when we're super over leveled and we get a preemptive strike. We can just go in, use our items, make sure you have wait mode enabled, because sometimes going through the menu on active mode they'll just run away, but it's on wait mode, and so you use the item. If you have Alchemist who uses items super quickly, it's even easier. And then just make sure you don't attack the Chocobo, don't counterattack the Chocobo. Just feed it a gash of the greens. There's no other enemies, and so the Chocobo is captured. And when we load out of the battle, we get our achievement or our trophy. The Tricky Capturer. You hear the little ding there. That's it unlocked. And when you go leave with the save sphere, make sure you leave at the save sphere by the shop and get this cutscene for some more percentage completion. And then just go back and save. That's it, going to be done for the episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and leave a comment for your favorite Dressphere, because I have just gotten my favorite one, the Alchemist. Absolutely love it. And when we load back after a little bit of grinding, we're going to have the Alchemist sphere maxed out to continue on the quest collecting and percentage gathering. And I look forward to chatting to you guys then. It's really good to be back into the series and getting consistent uploads again.
Should we take them back?
Feels really good. Hope you guys enjoy. Talk to you again. Bye bye.
What?
I can really move.